one of the crucial things about Handel. He was ruggedly independent at a time when almost every other musician, just think of Bach in his various appointments ending in Leipzig, had to kowtow, had to bend the knee, had to knuckle down in the service of either a prince or the church, and the court were the main employees. But in London, it's the only city in Europe where it would have been possible to lead a vigorous freelance career, and Handel absolutely capitalized on it. He was never short, shall we say, of confidence or savoir-faire. Francesco Gimignani, born in Lucca, a great violin virtuoso who, like a lot of foreign musicians, took the opportunity of coming over to London where fame and fortune were to be had in a way that they were not in any other European city to the same extent. And he substantially made his home here. He didn't become a British citizen, although he was known as Francis Gimignani, and he did cause a huge stir, whereas Handel was primarily a composer for the stage. Gimignani was a composer virtuoso. And I think it's fair to say, isn't it, Rachel, that Gimignani's sonata that we're going to hear is a celebration of virtuosity in a way that none of the other music that we're hearing this evening is in quite the same way. It's high-class show-off music in part, to show off his own technique.
Yes, he does, exactly. He does do that. He's very much a violinist composer. It doesn't seem that he's that interested in what's happening harmonically, or even the kind of overall architecture of the structure, if I may say so.
We're actually turning the clock back now. We've been in the 1720s, 1730s, 1740s. We're now going back to around 1680. Henry Purcell, who is, well, London-born and was in London more or less his whole life. Unfortunately, frustratingly, unlike with Handel, we know very little about Purcell's life. We can just piece together from fragments. His premature death at the age of 36 was mourned. He was a public figure. I think it's fair to say that he was Britain's first commercially successful, truly popular composer among all sections of the population. England's own Orpheus, the pride and delight of our age, the greatest genius we have ever had. These were accolades in his obit. Charles Avison, the most famous musical son of Newcastle on Tyne, where he spent almost his entire life away from cosmopolitan London here, and his own man, his own ruggedly English style. And he actually was very anti-Handel, maybe a touch of jealousy, who knows, but he was far more pro-French, and he modelled his sonata for harpsichord, two violins and cello, not on Italians or Handel, but on Rameau's pièce de clavecin en concert, dominated by the keyboard. So the relationship we hear in all the other pieces, with the strings dominating and the keyboard providing the accompaniment, is here reversed. It's the keyboard that prevails, Pablo, isn't it? Yes. So the keyboard gets its own back, yes, as it were, in these.
I think the role of the string players in a piece like this is a helping hand, if you like. The cello is there to reinforce the left hand. Rachel's playing along with Martin's right. I don't actually know why I'm here. I'm sort of filling in a few harmony notes in the middle. I would say this style of piece is something that became very, very popular in the 18th century. It's parlour music.